What's up, y'all? Welcome to Country with Noah. Today I am going to be reviewing a movie called Ruth and Boaz. Now, before I do that, I ask that you please subscribe, like, and share this video. It would really help me out, and I would really appreciate it. And yeah, so let's get into this movie. This movie is incredible, man. So let me give you a little background on the movie first. So, um, this movie is based off of. It's a modern retelling of a Bible story from the Book of Ruth, and it's a really good telling of the story. I didn't personally know the story of Ruth, from the Book of Ruth, so I googled the original story after I watched this movie, and so this movie is basically they modernized the story, right? So Ruth is an R&B part of an R&B singer group, right? And her manager, Cy, in this movie, her manager's name is Cy, is basically the devil in this movie. Like, he does some pretty despicable things in this movie. And, this movie, I would say, is a movie for all ages. It doesn't get too dark, but, um, like, the Netflix rating of it is 14 plus, and I would agree with that. But yeah, so basically what happens is, so she's part of this R&B group. She has a record deal on the table with So Def, and Jermaine Dupri shows up. Jermaine Dupri, for those of y'all that don't know, is a massive mainly R&B and hip hop producer. So he's produced for people like Usher, Jay Z, Bow Wow, Jagged Edge, like a big hip hop and R&B producer, right? Um, so um, Ruth's R&B group has a deal with So Def on the table, but she's just not feeling it. Like Ruth is a very, again, this is like a Bible story, right? So Ruth is a very spiritual woman, right? And the music that she's singing is not very spiritual, right? Or not very even the way Soraya, who's the actress who plays Ruth, sings the R&B at the beginning, like, it's still good vocally, but I can't hear emotion. And when I hear singers, doesn't matter what genre you are, doesn't matter if you're R&B, pop, country, gospel, rock, reggaeton, right? I want to hear you sing with soul and passion and stuff like that. And the R&B songs at the beginning of a movie aren't sung with that passion and that way, but it's supposed to be that way. So Soraya, Soraya, Soraya's, I think it's Soraya. Soraya is um, Ruth is Ruth is I'm not feeling this anymore. I quit 444. That's the group name, or 44. That's the group name that she's in. So she's like, I quit. And Psy, again, Psy is an allegory for the devil in this movie. Even though this story is modernized, like when I had um, when I had my speech to text thing tell me the Bible story, you can tell there's different. You can tell the characters are the same characters even though they're modernized, right? So what happens is, Sai, she basically goes to Sai and is like, thank you for everything that you've done for me, but I quit, right? So she ends up going out, but then Sai doesn't want her to quit because Sai is a bad person, right? And so Sai is her manager. Sai, um, so Ruth has a boyfriend, right? And she really cares about the boyfriend's family. The mother of the film, Naomi, the is played by Felicia Rashad, and so she has a boyfriend at the beginning of a movie. So what ends up happening is her boyfriend and uh, um, uh, her boyfriend and her father-in-law, because I think they were engaged. Her father-in-law and her boyfriend end up getting killed, um, and then Sai basically he straight up admits it. He's like he shows up at the funeral when Naomi and Ruth are standing there, and well, when he pulls Ruth to the side and is like, "You're gonna work for me, or Naomi's basically next." That's what he says. "You're gonna work for me, or Naomi's next," because both um, Ruth's boyfriend and her father-in-law died. They got killed. So he basically admits to her that, hey, I'm the one that did this, so if you don't work for me and get back in the studio, I will um, I will go after you the rest of your family, which means Naomi, right? And Naomi's grieving, right? Because Naomi loves her family, right? So she's and then she finds out that her husband did something to her house in Atlanta, and Naomi has to go to Pickering, Tennessee. So it's not in Nashville, but Pickering, Tennessee, and this is a story of loyalty, man. So like, Ruth says, "I'm coming with you," right? "No, go back. You're not gonna enjoy it." Yeah, "I don't care. I'm going with you, Miss Naomi," right? So Naomi finds is building this house. I mean, she comes back to the house because Naomi is from Tennessee, this part of Tennessee originally, and this is gonna be a long video, guys, just to let you guys know. And then Naomi, Naomi is basically like, "God, why'd you take my family away from me?" Right? Besides Ruth, "Why'd you take my family away from me? Why'd you do this?" So she takes because Naomi is a very religious woman as well. So she takes and again, this is based off a Bible story. It's a modern retelling of it. She takes the cross off the wall and like puts it away, and it's like, "I don't know what to do anymore." So basically, you have Naomi going through this grieving journey of grieving her son and her husband, and then you have um, um, Ruth like learning to trust again, right? This is not a love story. This is a story of loyalty, right? This is a story. Yes, she finds love with Boaz, but it's a story of loyalty, because Ruth doesn't have to go with Naomi to Tennessee, right? She wants to because she's loyal, right? And loyalty for, I know I have a lot of people that watch this channel that are younger. Loyalty is very, very important. When you're like, I've always been told by all of my family members, you are very loyal to the people that you care about. So, because my dad and I both agree on this. Uh, uh, there's two, uh, there's two things that you always have to consider when you're like, are you being there's three things that you have to consider when you're being a good person, right? What there's three most important things in life, and me and my dad both agree on this. One is God, two is your family, and three is just be a good person, right? So Naomi and Ruth are both going through it, right? And Naomi ends up working at wine, like cutting grapes at a wine, or crushing grapes at a wine, what do you call it? distillery, right? Or winemaking facility. And she meets Boaz. Now, Boaz owns the wine distillery, right? So, first, when she first meets Boaz, because Naomi, understandably, doesn't, I mean, not Naomi, sorry, Ruth, understandably, doesn't trust men, right? Because look at the man that she was around, her manager, right? Her manager's a piece of garbage, right? And so she's like, oh, you just want me to be your girlfriend. You just gave me a full-time job at your winery because you want me to be your girlfriend. So like, um, Boaz has to prove himself throughout the movie, and Boaz in this movie is like, he reminds me of all the men that I look up to in my life. He reminds me of my dad. He reminds me of my Uncle Rob. He reminds me of my grandfather. He reminds me of my buddy Gavin. He reminds me of a lot of people that I look up to in my life, right? And she starts to realize, no, Boaz is just being kind. It turns out that Naomi and Boaz actually know each other, and she's like, Ruth, you should move on with Boaz, right? And stuff like that, because Naomi and Ruth are still grieving the loss of uh, both Naomi's son and Naomi's husband, right? So she's like, you should move on with Boaz. And Boaz knows Babyface. Now, if you don't know who Babyface is like a legendary producer. He's produced for people like Boyz II Men, Kelly Clarkson. He's also produced a lot of country and gospel records. Like, he's produced for CeCe Winans and a bunch of other people. He's produced for Tori Kelly. He's basically done all different types of genres of music. Babyface is a legendary producer. And so she meets Babyface, and Ruth is like, he's like, what do you want to do? Right? So her musical journey, because she's a singer, right? Her musical journey goes through R&B, country, and gospel, right? And gospel and country are very, very, very well connected. Like, are very, very, well, it shows the connection between all three of these genres. Like, R&B and gospel and country are very, 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 very connected, right? Like, I'm gonna use some country examples to prove that to you. So look, like, Jesus Take the Wheel, Carrie Underwood song, that's a gospel song, right? What else? Gabby Barrett does gospel songs on her records. Um, um, uh, 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 the song that Cody Johnson and CeCe Winans just did that I reviewed on the channel, that is a country gospel song. So country and gospel are very connected, and so are R&B and gospel. Like, Fantasia, who's an R&B singer, put out a gospel record this year, right? Who else? Chris Brown put out a gospel song called "A Holy Blindfold." Yeah. The musical journey of this movie shows the blending and the connection between all three of these great genres, right? But basically, what the plot of a movie is her learning to trust again and stuff like that. But again, she nor Boaz is looking for love. They end up falling in love, but it's a reward for being loyal, right? And being loyal to, in Ruth's case, being loyal to Naomi. And Boaz is kind, he's caring, he the actor who I forget the name of that plays Boaz kind of reminds me of Michael B. Jordan, and he's the type of man that any man, including myself, would want to be, and any man that is watching this channel hopefully wants to be in life, right? He's a guy that any man would want to be, right? And yeah, so for me, this movie is great, and I think I really do think I've mentioned this before on this channel, but mainly with music. Like, shout out to creators of TV shows, of video games, of movies that tell these Bible stories in movies, but modernize them in television and video games. Why? Because it's the same thing with music, right? Like, I've told you guys, like, Carrie Underwood got me into country music, rock music, and gospel music. Why? Because she does all three of those genres, right? And so it's like, for me, like, I was reading the Bible story, right? The original. I mean, I wasn't reading it. I had my one of my things that I use tell me the Bible story after I finished watching the movie, and like, I related to this version of the Bible story, this Netflix movie, very, very much, right? Like, as I just told you, like, Boaz is the man that I strive to be in life, right? He reminds me of the men that I look up to in life, right? And stuff like that. And what I think, what I think this movie and, like, shows like The Chosen and shows like House of David and shows like I don't know, what's the Mel Gibson movie, or so movies like Sound of Freedom, they bring people into they bring people in, like, to like, watching these stories that wouldn't usually watch these stories. Like, I think you'll even like this movie if you're not religious. Like, that's how good I think this movie is. The script is really good, the performances are really good, and the music, obviously, is really good. Like, the weakest performances, but it's meant to be that way, are the R&B performances. But when she gets to, like, the country and gospel stuff, that stuff is fire. And if you were to ask me my 4 favorite genres in music, it would be country, no, in no particular order, country, rap, hip hop, and R&B, and it's slowly starting to be, gospel's starting to climb up there too. So I guess you could say 5 different genres of music, but for me, this movie was really, really good. The performances are really good, and I just respect both Tyler Perry and Devon Franklin for creating a story like this that brings the words of the Bible to a new, and brings the words of the Bible to a new audience, and audiences that that usually wouldn't watch this stuff. And I think that's really, 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 really important to do, and I think that's really, really cool of this movie to do. And yeah, so I would strongly recommend watching this movie, and yeah, so I would strongly recommend watching this movie again. Great performances throughout, and stuff like that. And yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching this review. Sorry for the long video, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all your support, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye, and God bless you guys.